Thank you for joining us for our webinar on how to teach business management for the IB Diploma today. I'm Tamsin Hart from Cambridge University Press, and I'll be hosting this webinar for our speaker, Adamantia Charchalaki. While we wait for more attendees to join us, let me explain how we're going to run the webinar. We're recording the webinar today to share with you afterwards, so don't worry if your internet drops out, just rejoin us when you can. If you're having trouble with your speakers, we suggest using headphones or checking that your speaker isn't muted. Your microphones will remain muted throughout the webinar. If you have any technical issues or questions about our business management products, please can you put those in the chat box, and my colleagues you'll see online there, Biljana and Georgia, will be on hand to help you. Please can you put any questions for our speaker into the Q&A box, and our speaker Adamantia will answer those at the end of the webinar. 7 days after the webinar, we'll send you an email thanking you for your attendance and a link to the webinar recording and information on where to find the webinar slides. Unfortunately, we can't provide certificates. However, you can use this email as proof of your attendance. Well, that's the end of our introduction. Thank you very much for joining the webinar. Now over to Adamantia.
Thank you very much, Tamsin, and welcome everyone to our webinar on how to teach business management for the IB Diploma. My name is Adamantia Charchalaki, and I have been teaching the IB for more than 15 years now. I'm a teacher of both business management and economics. I'm an experienced examiner and one of the co-authors of Cambridge University Press new coursebook on the new guide for business management for first assessment 2024. Before becoming a teacher, I have a 10 years work experience in financial management, working for big multinational corporations and the shipping industry. Today, I'm here to share with you some useful, hopefully, tips and some highlights on the new guide, as well as to present to you the resources that we have got with Cambridge University Press on the new guide. I'm talking about the coursebook and the teacher's resource. Both are written in a way to provide you with maximum possible support to deliver the new guide in your classes with success and in an easy manner. So first of all, let's start with the main syllabus changes. We have got 4 major syllabus changes. When it comes to the material to be taught, the changes are not very big. We have what we used to have in the previous syllabus. We have 5 major chapters, one on introduction on business organizations, and then 4 chapters on the basic business functions, marketing, finance, human resource management, and operations. The changes in the syllabus have to do mostly with how we approach it. So there are 4 major changes for us to discuss today. The revised conceptual framework, the introduction of the business management toolkit, inquiry statements that will appear across the syllabus chapters, and some changes in the assessment that is now characterized by the IBO as future focused. All of these changes have been introduced in order to build the confidence and the skills needed for students to become the future change agents and successful business leaders and entrepreneurs. So we're talking about a new syllabus, which is clearly future focused. And I'll talk about it more shortly. Let's start with a big major change in the new syllabus, the revised conceptual framework. In the new guide, 4 interdisciplinary concepts would appear: creativity, change, ethics, and sustainability. Creativity. Creativity is about IB students understanding why new ideas are needed in the business world and how to readdress existing ideas in a way that business decision-making would be enhanced. Change. It is about IB students, again, having to understand what change is all about, what brings change in the business environment, and what are the consequences of change. Ethics. The previous syllabus as well gave a lot of emphasis on ethics and the moral guidelines that determine decision-making in businesses. In this syllabus, we have extra focus on ethics, with the IB creating a new assessment paper for high-level students with extra emphasis on ethics because it focuses only on social entrepreneurship. So we will talk a lot this time around on ethics in the new guide. And last but not least, we have sustainability and its three dimensions: ecological sustainability, social, and economic sustainability. So our students need to understand how businesses are affected by any considerations of sustainability. We as teachers need to approach the four concepts, and we need to help our students to understand how these concepts would actually link to the content that we teach in class and how these apply on real-world examples. Also, when it comes to the internal assessment, which is changed for the new syllabus, one of the four concepts needs to be used by both standard level and high level students as a lens for the research. The second big change of the syllabus is the business management toolkit, a new approach on how we will use the tools. Some of them, we have seen it in the we have used them, most of them we have already used in the previous syllabus, such as the SWOT analysis, the Answer matrix, the steeple analysis, the force field analysis, but some of them are new, like Hofstede's cultural dimensions, Porter generic strategies, and critical path analysis. Some of them are for both standard level and high level students, but others are designed only for high level students. Now, the idea is that this business management toolkit is there for us to decide as teachers, how do we introduce it, how do we introduce the tools, and how we integrate it with the materials taught. According to the IB syllabus, there are some suggestions on how each and every tool could possibly be linked to the syllabus, to the material, but this is not necessarily the case. Teachers need to decide on which tool fits which part of the theory. And of course, we can use one tool to link it with more than one piece of theory. For example, a SWOT analysis is typically used in order to analyze growth options, internally analyze the business and its ability to pursue specific growth options, but it's also typically used before marketing decisions and improvements in the marketing mix are made. This is for us to decide as teachers how we use the toolbox and how do we introduce a toolkit to the students in class. The inquiry statements, the third change in the syllabus. Inquiry statements are statements such as, giving you some examples here, how corporate social responsibility could impact business creativity, or how high standards in operations management could make a business more sustainable. Such inquiry statements would actually appear, will be present in each syllabus unit, and they are designed to help students to become actively involved in researching business issues. The whole idea is that the inquiries will help our students to build the skills required in order to link the concept that we talked before, the four concepts, with the theory taught, the content, and applied on case studies, real-world examples. So the new guide is clearly inquiry-based, and the statements are there to help us to introduce the inquiry way of doing things to our students. And the fourth change of the syllabus refers to the assessment, which is described by the IB as future-focused. It's described as future-focused because when you will see in all papers that the evaluative questions appear throughout the assessment are all looking to the future business decision making and how students can recommend, suggest to business organizations their future strategy. 4 components: paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and the internal assessment. Paper 1, which is for both standard level and high level students, is based on a pre-release statement on the context of an upcoming unseen case study. And along with the pre-release statement, students will also receive a paragraph of the unseen case study. So they start preparing for it. So they start their own inquiry on it. Paper 2 is based on unseen stimulus material, and it has a strong quantitative focus. It's going to be a structured examination paper this time around. Even though it does have a strong quantitative focus, on its second part, in section B, all assessment criteria will be addressed, and including assessment objective 3. So evaluative questions should be expected by students in paper 2. Paper 3 is a new one. Is the one that I've mentioned before, designed for high-level students only, focused on social enterprises. On this paper, students will have to identify a particular human need and how the social enterprise in question approaches this need and what kind of challenges the social enterprise has when trying to meet this need. And last, we have the internal assessment, which this time around in this syllabus is going to be common for both standard and high-level students. It's going to be a business research project on a real-world organization. And as I said before, it has to be approached through conceptual lens. Question now for us, how do we approach the new syllabus in our classrooms? What are the top teaching strategies? You might have already observed, as we went through the syllabus changes, that the new guide is designed in a way that it would fit perfectly with the 6 IB pedagogical principles. The principles are these ones here. Our teaching approach should be based on inquiry. It should be developed on a local or global context, and it has to be designed in a way that different student needs are met. We need to focus on conceptual understanding. So whatever we teach needs to somehow link to the key concepts of the syllabus. And of course, we need to focus on effective teamwork and collaboration that really boosts the efficiency and effectiveness of our classes. And at the end of the day, of course, we need to teach in a way that is informed by assessment, both formative and summative, because all of us are so much interested into leading our students for success. 2 years after the IB Diploma begins, our students need to take the final IB exams, and results will, of course, matter to them. Now, how do we do this in practice? All of us are interested and all of us are thrilled by the IB pedagogical principles, which are so much inspiring for us. But the question that we're all puzzled is, how do we do it in practice? How do we bring the principles in practice when we teach business management? Each and every one of us will have a different approach to teaching, that's for sure. And this is, of course, a very nice thing. But at the end of the day, all of us do 3 specific things. We need to teach theory and tools. We need to develop these tools and theory around the concepts that the IB wants us to do so. And we need to apply whatever we teach on real-world case studies. So it's all about content, concepts, and context. And in order to do that, we need our own tools as teachers. We need our own toolbox to do that. We need help. We need inquiry-based learning exercises. Many of them need to involve teamwork in order to keep our students busy in a way that we inspire them as well, and we motivate them. And we need tools in order to help our students to practice and practice on more and more exam-style questions. In this role that we have got, in this difficult task that we have got, the Cambridge University Press has designed a course book that really helps us in order to deliver the syllabus successfully. The new course book has many features. All of them appear here. And I will give you some highlight here on what is included in the course book, and then I'll show you some more detail. Each and every chapter in our course book will have clear learning objectives, followed by a business in context section so that our students come close to the real world application of what is going to be taught in the chapter, which engages students. Key concept links and key terms and formulas are there in order to help you to deliver the theory to your students more effectively, as well as theory of knowledge links and learner profile links. And also there are a lot of features which will help with hands-on practice of our students, ranging from activities, case studies, and also we have a lot of assessment support through the new course book, exam tips, self-evaluation checklists. We have projects that really encourage collaboration and teamwork in class. And we have exam-style questions in the end of this chapter to help with more and more practice. And at the end of the book, we have a full chapter which is focused on exam skills. So this chapter is dedicated on what the IB wants from the 4 assessment components, and useful tips are included also in order to achieve, to help our students out with this difficult task. So, content in our new course book. Content is about teaching the theory and the tools. In order, the theory and the tools will, of course, appear across the book chapters, but in all chapters, it's going to be supported by key terms that are clearly defined as required by the new syllabus. And also, theory will be supported by balanced analysis, including advantages versus disadvantages of key business notions, short versus long-term effects, etc. So the idea is that the theory will be given to the students in a way that it will be practical for them in order to apply on case studies as per the IB assessment requirements. Concepts in our new course book. In order to cover for the need to teach our students the new concepts, we have the key concept links. And I'm giving you here 2 examples of these links. Change has been linked to the concept of crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is new in our syllabus. It's a new method, a new source of finance. And here in this link, we are developing a connection between change, crowdfunding, and the big economic recession of 2008-2009, where the banking system brought up challenges for which the traditional finance methods stopped being relevant for many businesses, so new methods had to come up. There is also another example here for you, ethics. These have been linked to multinational corporations and their role in developing economies, raising a lot of ethical and moral questions and obligations for multinational corporations in the host countries. Context in our new course book. In order to cover for the need for context, we have 2 broad features, the business in context section and the case study. The business in context section is what each and every chapter will begin with. So right straight from the beginning, when a new part of the syllabus begins, before students are actually exposed to the new theory, they have the opportunity to see how what they will learn applies in practice. And this is really useful in order to catch the attention of our students. Case studies. There is a plethora of case studies. Some of them are written on in a local context. Others are written on an international context. We refer to small business organizations, big business organizations, famous business organizations, or small local ones. In this example that I'm giving to you, there is a case study designed on Airbnb, which went public in December 2020. Right below, after each case study, there are many of them, 3 to 5 in each unit. There are exam-style questions for more and more practice, as we said before. There is also visual aid along with all the case studies included in our book, so that we capture their attention and inspire and help our students to connect with the real-world setting. The fact that we designed these case studies in close relation to the theory taught can help you to use them right after you teach a piece of theory in order to have the students practice on them. And this really increases the effectiveness of the based on experience of the students, and really helps them to understand what the theory is all about. Inquiry-based learning in the new course book. This is mainly achieved through the activities. We have a great range of activities in the book, again, 3 to 5 in each chapter typically. The activities are varied. The activities are typically scaffolded. They involve student participation in groups or sometimes individual work, but then class discussion. And most of them require inquiry and reflection. In this example, we have a scaffolded activity about Tesla and its soaring share price. where students would have the, among other things, the opportunity to consider and do their own inquiry on why the share prices of some businesses may soar, while others in the same industry may not. Teamwork and collaboration in the new course book. We have a completely new feature in the new Cambridge University Press book, the projects. These projects will appear in the end of each chapter, and they are designed in order to help our students to work in pairs or in groups, in order to do some work on social entrepreneurship. So we have tried to do two things in one: to enhance teamwork and collaboration, and to help our students to work more and more on social entrepreneurship, which becomes key in the syllabus, especially for the high-level students that will be examining them. Also, these projects cover the whole chapter taught, so they're a good opportunity for revision for our students. The result of projects is typically debates, presentations, slides, PowerPoint presentations, or posters sometimes. So interesting stuff to engage our students in value-adding collaboration and teamwork with fruitful integration of the material as well in a real-world setting. Assessment support in our new coursework. Exam tips, exam style questions, and the exam skills chapter. In each and every chapter of the book, exam tips would appear to help students understand how what they learn needs to be applied in the examinations. Exam style questions. At the end of each chapter, we have detailed exam style questions, a plethora of them, most of them designed closely related to the material taught in this particular chapter, but some are also cross-chapter questions in the exact way that the IB will require students to answer questions in the final exams. And also, there is an exam skills chapter that I've mentioned before with particular tips on what brings results when students take the final exams and when they take their internal assessment. The IB learner profile in our new course book. The IB focuses on 10 attributes that our students need to have as IB students. And in our book, we have tried to link these 10 attributes with content and context. So in this example that I'm giving here to you, we have the risk-taker attribute, which is linked to Samsung as a business organization and its growth strategy. And after this stimulus material is provided, we have questions that will help students to reflect about the risk-taking, in this example, attribute, its significance, and they are there for interesting class discussion. In order to link to the IB profile, learner profile, we also have the self-evaluation checklist, a new feature which also appears in the books at the end of the chapter, which would help students to become to self-reflect on their own learning process and take accountability for their own learning process, which is a very important feature according to the IB learner profile. Theory of knowledge and links to our new course book. Theory of knowledge is in the heart, is in the core of the IB Diploma program. So we have developed links with theory of knowledge in each chapter by phrasing knowledge questions based on theory of knowledge syllabus guide, such as this one, which appears here. Does emotion play an equally important role to language in business communication? Stimulus material is provided, and then questions are phrased for discussion in class to help our students to approach learning from different perspectives. Now, all of these features that I have described in the course book are designed in a way to support English as a second language learners with international settings. So they would actually be attractive to a diverse group of students from different backgrounds, and they're given in a way that is clear and allows manageable delivery of business theory and concepts in our classrooms. And last but not least, I would like to focus a bit on the teacher's resource, which is a key feature, a key resource in the new series of Cambridge University Press to support teachers in their role to deliver the new syllabus successfully. This resource is going to be a great help because it provides with many features that teachers love, such as teaching notes, lesson plans, learning objectives and success criteria aligned to the IB Diploma approaches to learning. There's going to be syllabus overviews, differentiation and assessment ideas included, a lot of suggestions on how to deal with common misconceptions, ideas for language support, lesson plan templates, and downloadable resources such as language worksheets, editable PowerPoint presentations, tests and answers. So all of these resources are life-saving for us that need to save time, but at the same time, we need our own tools in order to deliver the course with confidence successfully in our classes. So that's all from me today. I would like to thank you for your attendance and for being here today. I'm here for any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Adamantia, for that fantastic presentation. Just before we start the Q&A, I'm going to launch a poll because we'd be really interested to hear about your main teaching challenges at the moment. So you should see that just appearing on your screen. So I'm going to give you a little time to read that and provide your answers, but it'd be really interesting to see. Then I can share that with us all online. Brilliant. I think I'm going to leave it there and end the poll. And then if I share the results with everyone, we can see what's coming out top. So we've got a clear leader there with main teaching challenges, preparing students for assessment, followed by applying effective teaching approaches and English as a second language learners. And then interesting, with your current teaching situation, by far the most of you are now back in the classroom, but we still have a few who aren't, and a mixture of both. So we've gone for a blended learning solution. Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing today. Now, another question. Is there a best technique to prepare learners for different assessment objectives?
This is a difficult one and a very good question, to be honest with you. Practically, yes, you have to practice and practice more and more on these questions. And usually what helps there is past papers and answers. So we have tried to, when the syllabus changes, the problem is that you don't have that. You don't have past papers and you don't have the mark schemes that can help teachers to understand what exactly is required from students when the syllabus changes in each and every assessment criterion. But we have tried to do the best we can with our teaching resource because we have worked on exam style questions under the new syllabus, and you will find the answers as well in the teacher's resource. So I think that this is the only way through in order to understand the requirements of the assessment criteria. So the exam style questions are all phrased under the criteria, and their answers are also there in the teacher's resource to help you out with this task.
So thank you so much, Adamantia, for your fantastic presentation.
Thank you, Tamsin.
And remember that 7 days after the webinar, as I said, we'll send you an email thanking you for your attendance with a recording of the webinar and informing you where to find the webinar slides. You can use this email as proof of your attendance. To find out more about the resources discussed today, I think my colleagues are going to put the link to those in the chat. And please speak to your sales representative or visit cambridge.org/education. And as I mentioned, when the webinar ends, a survey is going to come up, and that gives you the option to let us know if you would like to talk to a sales rep within the next 6 months or so. Thank you for any answers you provide in that. And good luck with your teaching, and goodbye.
Goodbye.